Everyone. Yes, yeah. Well, raining as well, yeah. Yeah, pretty wet here as well in Joey's. Should be the last game to June, yeah. When it gets dry as the world, so it's the last bit of rain we're gonna get. So be cold, but at least it won't be theory raining. Anyway, it's past. We can get started. Trust you all had a good weekend. I think the weather wasn't too bad over the weekend, so it's a bit of a bleak Monday morning, but that's the way it is. Okay, right. As we all know, that half past 2 on Wednesday is the CPI, following pretty quickly after the jobs report. So I expect, I'm sorry to say these guys, but when you have these major fundamentals coming through, the markets can be a little bit on the quiet side. Because as I say, they do affect the world's markets, what's happening in the United States, especially on the inflation front. And the CPI norm is important, but it's taken a bigger importance in the last couple of months or so, simply because of the inflation worries that the United States has, not just the United States, most of the Western world as well. So yeah, basically, so just remember we're doing a 2 o'clock session on Wednesday, and the normal one like we did on the non-farms. If you want to make use of the strategy trade, I think a lot of guys on board here made use of it and did okay. Remember, how well you do really depends on how different the figures are to the expected. And that, of course, we don't know. If it comes out as expected, it will be a bit of a difference, but it won't be quite the same, either higher or lower. So just hope it's going to be higher or lower. So it'll make that kind of difference. Okay, so I expect to be fairly quiet going into Wednesday, but that's certainly part of the course anyway. A lot of uncertainty out there, I've been mentioned many times. So yeah, even Warren Buffett's come to the party saying the halcyon days of big growth seem to be over in the worldwide market. So yeah, so I think we're expecting some sort of pullback somewhere. On the screen now, Monica, on the screen now, I've got the Nasdaq. As you can see, just let these guys in. As you can see, it's tried to break above a few times. It hasn't. So it's a bit of a range. I think what's our TP? Put it down here, 12,790. If you like it, 12,790. Sounds around about here. Yeah, it's a bit of a range trade. It's high. Look, it held the last couple of times on the high. That's why we thought. Remember, it's the micro, it's not the normal one. If you do the normal one, remember it's 10 times bigger. That's up to you. But as I say, saw the signal, and remember that's the figures for the micro. It's 10 times that for the normal. So you get the normal micro, so about $500 rand per 0.01, not 50. Just bear that in mind. But that's the idea. It's sort of a range trade, 790, a bit below that, down to around about this sort of level here. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. Will it be affected on Wednesday? Yes, it will. How it will be affected, we don't know, depending on the release of the figures. But remember, that's 2 days away, 2.5 days away, actually. If you like it, there you are. It's about all I've got at the moment. We had a pound CHF one out, giving a bit of jip, but it seems to be coming to the party now. So yeah, it's held at 200. So it seems to be coming to the party. So we'll see how that can break through the 50-day moving average. That's the blue line. I think everyone knows that now. Benedict, you guys here, and Jeanette. This is blue line is a 50-day simple. The 100 is the black line, and the 200 is the brown line, and the maroon line, or magenta line, I think it is, is the 10-day moving average, all simple. Important, especially the 200, which is the brown, and the 50, very important. They act as filters. You can spot the trend of the particular instrument, and they act as support resistance. It's very important. If you don't have them, I strongly suggest you do. They are internationally used and they can often be self-fulfilling. So I very strongly suggest you put in the 200 and the 50. I like the 100 and the 10. You don't have to have it, but I like it. Why not have it? Okay. So results, you like to put the 4. If any others, it's up to you. But the 50 and the 200 are very important. Once you've done that and got them on your chart, right-click, go to templates, and save the template. Okay, put your name in there and save it. And then, so if you do lose the charts, or you just go to template and there you save charts for this area here. Just make sure you do that. If you haven't done it right now, very important. Last thing you will do is lose the charts, and now you're battling to set it up again, and it's a hassle, and you're going to be fed up. So just quickly just go right click and the charts are installed. Okay. Yeah, we can. I'd love to, but no idea how. I'd love to be a surgeon, I'm afraid, but no idea how either. Yeah, well, that's why you have to go for training, like in the hospital. It's not a risk you don't know. Risk is an evaluated area where you gain knowledge, and then you using that knowledge, then you take the risk. If you just go down window risk by jumping in, that's just holding your nose and diving in. That's nuts. You know what I'm saying? Bottom line is, like anything, you need knowledge. So and how do you get knowledge? You buy courses. Obviously, Stock Market College. I'm not with Stock Market College. I'm with Quick Trade. That's a separate company. But anybody out there who's an affiliate for Stock Market College, some of the guys there might be. I think Farney is. And you do not. I mean, people said, "Oh, I don't have," and the guys found that they do have a course. So if you don't have a course, Stock Market College course, I'm sure you can swap place with Farney, swap numbers, and he can help you out on that. But when you say a few rounds, I hope you're not being serious by literally a few, because obviously you need capital like any business. Expect to make money from no capital. Unfortunately, that's not how business works. Okay. And this trading room is a trading room where people come after and operate the platform, and they've got an idea of the basics of Forex, CFDs, indices, commodities. Then they come in and we discuss trade ideas. If you completely have no course, no knowledge, no background, nothing, you might get a little bit confused in here or whatever. This is where you take it to the next step after you've got the training. So just put on there, if you haven't got any knowledge or have no course, anything like that, I'm sure one of the guys will put the number up, and you put your number up and they'll contact you and show you to take it from there. Okay. Hope that's all clear. And thank you for interacting, because that's what I encourage people to interact, ask questions so we can learn. Okay. Just sit there. It's not necessarily going to get downloaded. If you're not sure, just interact. Okay. If I can't answer it, I'll pass it on to somebody who can. Okay. Good morning, Wendy. GBP NZD for a sell. So if you like the trade on the NASDAQ, the figures are all there on the mailbox, etc. GBP NZD is a trade from Morris, that's what we're talking about now. They put out ideas and we look at them. I use the daily chart for my strategy, and you're looking to sell it. Okay. Morning. You're looking to sell it. So you think it's a little bit overcooked and it might have some more downside per pound. Is that what you're thinking? Well, clearly the momentum's down at the moment. We don't see any buyers coming in. I look at the 15-minute. Yeah, the momentum is down. There's no doubt about that. There's no particular. I'm just going to check. I don't think there's anything on the economic calendar there on the pound or anything else. No, it's a pretty quiet day today, so that's not going to pain in the ass. Just going to copy and paste for you guys who don't have it. This is the economic calendar. Please copy it and paste it. There you are. I keep it handy. And I'll do the dollar index as well. We call it the DXY. Just give you that one as well. Okay, so yeah, it's in the buy zone. That's the only thing. But although I agree the momentum's down, but it has come to some support, which held Friday, and then again on Wednesday, and it's been holding a couple of weeks ago as well, as you can see, going back to earlier in April, a couple of weeks or so ago. So well, if it breaks further down, maybe it looked good for more momentum, but I'm not sure I would be too keen to sell at the moment, personally speaking. It's a 4-hour say. You see, these are applicable on all charts, guys. It's the 4 times 200, 4-hour times 200, not the daily, it's the 4-hour times 200. And that, to me, I'd like to see that broken before I go there and sell it. If it breaks through, this is the 8 till 12 candle. If the candle opens below the 4-hour times 200, I might be a little bit more favorable. At the moment, I'd probably be staying on the sidelines myself. You agree on that, Howard? Japanese, yeah, I'm saying Japanese again should be doing okay, yeah. Okay, anything of that? I'm just going to put my number down here. Roger. Trading support. WhatsApp number. Okay, I say I'm not with Stock Market College. That's the educational package company. I'm the Quick Trader broker, and I'm licensed to advise, etc. If you want it, please don't say, "Can you quickly teach me how to trade?" It's not quite as simple. That's a period of time, but I can advise on trade ideas, and I can give on signals, etc. On that. There is a one area though, not on demos, and you have to have a funded live account above 500 grand. Cannot assist you below that amount simply because they can offer no value. Clearly, you've got smaller than that. I mean, you can't diversify, you can't only go in one micro. You're very limited what you can do, like anything else. If you're on a tight budget, it's limited what you can do. Same sort of principle. Okay. Yeah, I started to come to the party. Gave it a bit of a chip on Friday, but it seemed to be starting to come to the party, which is good. GBP one I'm talking about. Okay, so there, at least I'm contactable now. That was just my opinion about GBP and ZD. Mars is quite careful making his own mind up. He's just sort of discussing it. He'll do exactly as he's comfortable with, and he knows the score there. But my policy at the moment would be I see where you're coming from, but I think I'd like the confirmation of maybe getting it if this holds. Opens below that, maybe I'll be more confident. We got, how far away is this? Plenty of downside to get there as a TP, so maybe we should be a little bit patient on that before jumping in now. That's my opinion. Right. Okay, now we'll do J1, CHF JPY. I missed that bloody thing again. Well, remember I said to guys, pull back to 150 odd, and it did do, and I missed it. And then by the time I saw it, it already jumped, so I missed it. Okay, so on the daily, it's clear there. On the hourly, it's in the buy zone as well. How far away is it? 41 pips. That's my only issue there, Anthony. It's 41 pips after the break of the 10-hour moving average. I like to have it round about the 10, maybe 15 pip maximum before I jump in on that. So jumping in on that, 40 pips above this area here, and all right, it's very short term on the hour. There's a little bit of noise there. I would think on the EJ, I'd be wanting to buy probably, well, probably about 9 o'clock actually, because it confirmed upwards there, and that would have been a slightly better bet. 20 pips might be a little bit. So let's see if we get a bit of a pullback on that. If not, I think we might have to miss that. Banking crisis, negative. They're more complicated than that. But it's not going to be a complete disaster. I'll tell you why, because governments, if it comes to that sort of thing, with major banks like Goldman Sachs having problems, are so cataclysmic on the financial wave. that the governments will probably come to assistance. That's the beauty about being too big to fail. If you're nobody, unfortunately, tell me you fail. If you're a big guy, you'll be propped up. The consequences are too large. So it won't have a good effect on the market, but they will go out of their way. International banking, central banks, etc., will to prop it up. I mean, Goldman Sachs went under, for argument's sake. It would be international financial catastrophe, cataclysmic. So yeah. Okay, CAD CHF. Please help, I can't withdraw why it keeps. Please help, I can't withdraw why it keeps saying pending. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry, withdraw what? Your money? Well, that's quick trade accounts. You want to draw your funds, go to the portal and ask your account manager, or go to the live chat and go to accounts or deposit withdrawal in the live chat, and they'll assist you. Okay, I hope that answers your question. To show me. Okay, right, gold. I'm positive on gold. When we talk about worry about banks and worry about recession and worry about inflation, clearly that's when people turn to gold. So clearly I'm bullish on gold, right? No doubt about it. Now getting the entry, I've got it on an hourly chart, it's pretty sideways. Now, remember I mentioned the consumer price index coming out in the US on Wednesday afternoon. Will it have an effect on gold? Absolutely. Look what happened to gold when the non-farms came out on Friday. Went right back down to about 2,000 before it bounced. So I'm regarding this, yeah, I'm bullish, but do I want to be buying it here? That's the main thing. Where to see it? Let's go for a slightly longer term chart. Yeah, I'm bullish, but I'm just wary of the moment. It's going to be pretty sideways, I think. It might pop up a bit more, but I think if you get it round, that's probably maybe, if you get it a little bit lower down, maybe a $10 lower down, something like that for buy, yes. But just make sure if you do it, I'm not sure I'll be jumping in now, but if you do it, make sure you're protected for the CPI release. If it's very, very low comparison to the actual, it'll be lack of inflation, it'll be anti-inflationary, anti-inflammatory, there you are. And gold will come off quite a bit. If it's above the expected, gold will go up. So it very much will be affected by that. So I personally just stay on the sidelines at the moment, unless you're already in, of course. I'm talking about an entry here. And maybe if you can get a better price, around about the 2.5, 2.10, a bit better than this price maybe. And then you can have another charge at 2,060 or something like that. But I'm not sure I'll be playing around too much at the moment. And I think you can have, that might be wrong, obviously, might be fairly sideways movement going in to Wednesday's release, data release, because as I say, everyone's going to be a little bit nervous to see how inflation is getting tackled. Very important release. If it's quite a bit lower than expected, that will be fantastic news as far as the Fed's concerned, and they'll start saying no more interest rate increases, and they even might talk about bringing forward the decrease, which will have a very negative effect on the dollar, but it will have a very good effect on interest rates going forward, which will be negative for gold and very, very positive for markets. Okay, so personally speaking, I'm going to stay on the sidelines on that one. Okay, any comments on that? Are you okay with that, Phil? Anyone wants to add to it? With pleasure. Want to add to that one? Well, your funds aren't with MetaTrader 5, it's with QuickTrade, a trust account. So if you want to withdraw your funds, you go to your portal and then, sorry, I'll tell you a better idea. Go to the live chat and go to deposits withdrawals section there and let them assist. Remember, MetaTrader 5 is is a trading platform. Quick Trade amongst many brokers use it. Oh, it's Catch Shape Chef, yeah. You mentioned that, didn't you? Well, I agree with you. You want to get a slightly better price, do you? Or slightly lower, slightly worse price, in fact. I don't know why should I wait for that. I think it's looking pretty good as it is. Try the 4 hour sideways a bit. I give you a due on that. Let's look at the weekly. It's below all the moving, including that, and seems to be holding on the weekly. Go back to daily again. No, I quite like this one. I believe in the Swiss franc. Jumped up nicely, giving opportunity to set it down. And I'm not sure dollar strength seems to be coming in. It seems to be hovering around the 101 mark. Even though oil got up a little bit, it's still very choppy there. It's no real big bullish direction on it. So it adds up to a little bit of weakness creeping the Canadian dollar. The Swiss franc we talked about many times. I'll be honest, I agree with you. I like this one, Morris. I like it. Yeah, I'm gonna put up the 50. Even on EJ. Let's look a check on that one. Yeah, EJ as well. Both strategies well spotted. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, don't do that to me. Don't forget, get your calculator, get it from the live chat, technical support. Don't trade without doing your budget, as they say. I can put a bit out of that. Start there. And we can take it back down to here. Make it around 65. There we are. I'll be honest, I like it. That's fine. Just remember, guys, what Mara said there, everyone's got their specific strategy that they've worked out. That is what you want. Everyone has a different one. No one's got all exactly the same. It depends on the amounts, etc., your length, etc. There's quite a few variables in there. But the point is, you've got to have some sort of strategy. Watching a candle red, I'll sell it, green, I'll buy it. It's not good enough, I'm afraid. You need some sort of strategy. Hopefully you learn stuff as you go along. You experiment as a gentleman has done. And I'm quite happy with that. But I'm going to go as far as to say I wouldn't be against going in now. If you want to go with Morris and wait 20 pips, you can do. You get a slightly less risk reward ratio, of course, because it'll be 20 pips further away from your stop. But I'm okay with this trade. Or a 3 candle. That's quite a common one, a 3 candle. But I'm okay. I quite like this, to be honest. And on the EJ, as Gerard said, and that's a complete separate trade. If you've got enough funds, you can do both. You can do one, you work out for the maybe medium term on this one, and an EJ one with no, you know the score, no TP, just a 50 pip stop, and just modify or trading stop or whatever on the EJS one, no problem. Or EJ, you just say EJ, quicker and easier. The other one's a little bit of a mouthful. You get it, Morris? Do you use an hourly 3 candle or 3 hours, in other words? Perhaps it's not as simple as that for me, Karen. Personally, you'll answer in a minute. But whilst I'm doing that, so I think depends on volatility. I mean, like MGAS might be a 3-day principle, and Nasdaq maybe 1 hour. You know, it depends on the volatility. Yeah, 3 months. Yeah, a 50-minute sounds fair enough. Yeah, 3 50-minute candles sounds good enough to me. I'm not sure you see your head and shoulders there. Maybe I'm blind. Anyway, I do like it. Anybody else like it? Mania Fenta in the center of Mr. Fenta. He likes it. So anybody else? You've got to like it, Mars. Your idea. Anybody else? Don't forget. That's fine. That's good enough. Good stuff. Don't forget, guys. Make sure you've got enough free margin.
Me too.
Pleasure. Don't forget, keep free margin. You must make sure you got free margin under the risking margin. It's not sure the margin call is. It's when you don't have enough collateral to maintain the own position. If you want more details, just Google it. Simple as that. But you must avoid that. So don't make sure you don't have 10 grand in your account, something like that. After you place the trades, because the noise will knock you out. Well, you can use that one or the one up there. Either ones you can use, but I'll use this one. Remember, I'm trying to get away that anyone knows. It's all about taking a view, and that's why we have a market, because some people disagree with that view. That's what creates the market. Don't have to worry about it. It's 66.43, 67.20. Don't worry about the last digit thing. We're after pips, not points, remember. And what is it? 160 bucks a shot. 160 rand. So please, guys, if you've got less than 1,500 rand, you can't take the trade because you'll be overexposed. And most trades are going to be overexposed with less than 1,500. So strong suggestion is to get capital into your account so you can make use of it. You can't make a living on the price of a meal out, unfortunately. One likes it, or Joanna, how do you pronounce it? One Jabalani. Okay, actually, I do quite like it. I'm going to post that on. Give me a second. Just post on the company WhatsApps. Give me a moment. They'll like it. Okay. Just taking a post on the group. Might need to explain that to you, those who don't know. Give me a second as I post a weekly snippet for you. Okay, right. I posted my number just now. Anybody's got $150 account or more, or 2.5 grand or more, just let me know. WhatsApp, you've got the number, and I'll add you to my group WhatsApp so you get updates, daily economic updates, signals, and weekly analysis, and that sort of thing. It's very good use to you, but you will need a little bit of capital in your account to be able to make use of it. Remember, you've got limited capital. You have to have all your eggs in one basket because you can't afford more than one trade at a time. You do need the deposit and enough free margin to make you, be able to do margin, get the sell. What is it, 150? I'm not stressing it. Start to forget, why aren't you in it, Roger? You advise it, yeah. Forgot to face it myself, so busy advising. It's happened a few times. Okay, right. So that one, you've all got it now. I've got it written down, so I'll knock it off now. If you want the figures again, I have no problem putting it up there. Looks like the CHF JPY, you mentioned the EJ one. I was a bit concerned about chasing higher that, but it looks like it might have been wrong. It still seems to be going up. Looks like we missed the bloody ship on that one. Bit of a pain anyway. GBP CHF, the one we got out, this can give us a bit of jip, but it seems to be coming to the party now. So if you can just break through this 50, might hold it, might get a bit of a bounce here. But as long as the momentum, even above the bounce, continues down. So we might get something out of that, hopefully. Just needs to see if we can get that. A little bit of profit taking on that daily times 50, but hopefully it's going to break down further. At least it's come to the party. Okay. Neutral zone, what? The CAD CHF? Not really. I think maybe we mentioned somebody else. AUD USD. AUD, yeah, interesting one. We discussed that this morning, Antonio. And what about this dollar? It's the only reason, because it's discussed in our sort of our strategy room this morning, and I hear you big time of a sell on that one. I'm just worried about this dollar at the moment. I'm not seeing much strength coming about. I know it's Wednesday, today's Monday, so panic. But technically speaking, and we looked at it, and I couldn't be more clearly, that's a sell, right? The problem is that's giving me a little bit of fear though with the dollar. Okay, the dollar doesn't start strengthening, could actually break up. That's my worry. That's the only reason. If I hadn't got that fear, I would be totally agreeing with you, because it was actually discussed this morning at the big meeting. Okay, Soma, no problem, I understand that. Have a good day yourself. But bloody time, Gerard, but bloody time, yeah, I'm in that. Things actually doing all right, actually. Okay, so we'll stick with this for the moment before we go over. I'm scared, but technically, I totally agree with you. I'm scared because the dollar it's not seen. Go again, check the daily. Isn't it happening there? It's still hovering around the 101. It's not really happening. So, anyone disagree? Do you think I'm being a right bloody chicken here, or anyone going to be clucking with me on this one? Because as I say, I really quite like it from a technical point of view. Just a fundamental worry I have. And we had a couple of bad ones come out last week in the euro, so I'm a little bit more circumspect than usual. Last thing was my credibility go down the drain. Nor Rogers thing, there was no crap. I thought that sort of get out there. He's, you with me? Good. Yeah, that's as bad as that. Surprised I don't have that many complaints about it. It's normally, forget when it goes well, but quick to jump all like that. It doesn't go so well, but surprisingly, I haven't had that many complaints, because I thought we might get a bit of an avalanche after Europe debacle last week. Okay, so we'll just sorry, Anthony, but looks like you can probably hear the clucking there now. I'm afraid I'm one of them. But if you're happy, okay. Hang on. So I just posted it. Where's it gone? Oh, bloody hell. Thought I posted it. May have put the wrong one. So I posted it. That's why I got no feedback from the company about that signal, because some didn't go through. Okay, so Antonio, you happy with that analysis? Okay, fingers up. Good. Thumbs up on me. Right. Okay. Excuse me. Just going to go to the WTI now. Thanks, Antonio. Okay. That is come to the party. What a pleasure. If you want to see how your trades are doing, you can look in your toolbox. I prefer to keep it slightly hidden. I don't want to stare at it all the time. It saves in my mind. You always right click and check the trade levels. And as you can see, I bought there and it's up there. So it's not doing too badly. Where's my stop loss? Clearly, I want to do something about that. So I'm going to modify my stop. You can modify it by double clicking the normal way, or you can modify it by pushing this up. So I'm going to modify it. Where's 70? Make it, give it a bit of a check this up. Make it about, yeah, so about a couple of dollars below the entry, and at least I'm in a profit. So the stop loss is at 20 odd, and yeah, 70.20. So at least what happens, you're going to make a couple of bucks in it. So I'm nicely protected. So you see that now. Enjoying it now, I'm not so sure. If you're in it, I'm okay with that, but I'm not so sure. There's a lot of ifs and buts out there. Petrol price is hectic. I put petrol in the car yesterday to fill her up. It cost me over 1,400 rands to fill up a car with petrol. So it's not cheap. So yeah, that's why people are not driving and flying as much and using it as much because it's hectic. So yeah, we might get a bit more movement upwards as I'm holding on, but I'm protected. But I'm sure my joint now. Okay, Jablan, just remember, if you're going to do the ZAR, if you're going to do the ZAR, it is what's known as exotic. That basically means, in plain English, it means it's higher costs and a higher margin. So you do need money in your account. And don't forget, nothing wrong with trading it if you like it, but your higher costs. That's 25 pips of your costs. It's hectic. Just bear that in mind. That's the same the whole world over. You're dealing with Mexico, peso, or South African rand, you know, the non-processed majors, there will be higher costs. Just bear that in mind. So if you want to take a view on it, you've just got to be prepared to wait till it gets to the profit because the extra costs involved. And you can't do it unless you've got a reasonable amount in your account because the margins are higher. If you're not sure, just right click on the instrument and it'll give you the margin. As you can see there, depending on whether you're 500 to 100 to 1, slightly one clearly, it's less gearing, and it gives you the spread costs. There you are. And it gives you the contract size and all the rest. Okay, make sure. So Jabalani, yeah, sorry, fair enough, Mondu. So yeah, as regards trading it, the cost, etc., the sideways movement, and the sort of a little bit worried about what's going to happen with the dollar. I personally think it's probably beneficial to fry elsewhere. But if you're a brand trader, you experienced it, it's what you do. You don't need me to make your own mind up. But I'd suggest on what I've just mentioned, probably stay away. You need bucks, higher margins, higher costs, and you've got to be pretty confident. And that's not giving me a lot of confidence it's going to go screaming either way at the moment. I think most people see with a problem, have a major problem with Eskom, and basically all over South Africa, because of mismanagement and corruption at the highest levels. The trust levels internationally are not good. The crime levels, it's a tinderbox at the moment. So yeah, weaker rand's the way to go. But I think it's a bit sideways at the moment. And of course, the brain drain as it gets, and people get worried and they can afford it. They leave, but fortunately, they take the money and their skills with. It's a pity. Seems to be that's right history, eh? Short-term human greed, people in power. Okay. Oh, my TP and WTI, I forgot. Get it now, actually. Oh, there it is. Make it 81. 81. If that's a bit high for you, you can bring it down a bit. But anyway, modify your stop, that's the best way, probably. anyone if you want that. I'm not kind of trying to get too cute, you know what I mean? And I'll keep modifying. Even if it doesn't get 81, I'll make a buck out of it. That's the main thing. Okay. I think that's a bit wide. Make it a bit smaller. Let's work with it. Okay, as we're getting luck of the breakthrough on the Swiss GBP Swissy now, a little bit of a bounce. I'm not surprised. I mentioned that just now. Not that surprised. A little bit of bounce off the daily. That's why I want you guys to have it. See how it came down to it, held a bit of a bounce. What going to be the extent? I think it's going to be a bit of profit taking before it comes down again. But it just shows how useful they are. In fact, I strongly advise you have it. I used to play around all sorts of indicators in my trading past, and I've honed it down to this one. It's simple, easy, it's in your face to understand, and the beauty is it's internationally used all over. So please, if you don't have the 50 and the 200, put it on there and save it. I do like the black and the magenta line, the 100 and the 10. And if you like the EJ one, then you need the 10 anyway. I don't use the 100 on the EJ, but I use the 100 as sort of a backup if you like. But these two are must-haves. Okay, the blue and the brown must-haves. And then save it, like I mentioned. Now, someone did got disconnected. The problem we're having a lot at the moment, and it's affecting turnout for the trading room, is this horrendous load shedding. I think it's expecting about 10 hours today or something, at least in my area. If you're going to trade successfully, you've got to make a plan to have maybe a backup. You know, if it's a small battery to keep your laptop going, and yeah, so if you have a problem with the Wi-Fi, maybe get yourself a router or something like that. If you can't be trading, trying to make money out of it, it's like being in the car business with a car that doesn't work. You've got to have it. You've got to have that backup. And you do need a stable internet, and you need quite a bit of, you know, just to join the trading room. I go on YouTube, we use quite a bit. And it's a lot cheaper now, last few years. It was very expensive a few years ago. So it's worth having. I mean, I've got a backup, it's 50 gigs, which is plenty. That's just the backup, obviously, not, you know. And that only is costing me, including the router rental at 30 rand a month, it costs about 280 or something like that. So if you don't want 50, slightly less, but negotiate yourself something and get yourself a router. Make sure you've got a backup for your battery, because the load shedding ain't going to get any better going into winter. It is a lot of worries now for political reasons. They've cut load shedding a bit, which means they cut the safety margin a bit. There's no more improvement than the effect, you know, the efficiency of the actual electrical setup. It just means it's usually at about a 15% margin, and it's come down to around about 6%, which is very dangerous. If you have a breakdown on the grid, you could, I don't know, I'm not an expert, I'm just say certain take weeks, in a month or more to get the thing back up again. Then you're going to have looting. You're going to have basically anarchy. So, for political reasons, they've actually not made it more efficient, but reduced it a bit with all the screaming and shouting. They just reduced the safety margin on it. I read that in Business Day. So, you know, no, I'd rather have stage 11 rather than a big blackout on the grid. And the problem is getting the coal there. The transport problems they've got, Transnet also. All these bureaucratic SEOs are all a complete utter total farcical mess. Okay, on that cheerful note, we'll move on. CAD CHF, anything happening there? Just entered it. It's about the same. I think that's about the same. NAS, anything happening on the NAS? Coming off a little bit. 245 sell, we had a 256. So that's the spread. So you get in the sell and you get out on the buy price, so it should be breaking even. Okay, any question, guys? I see there's a few new guys in there. Clayton, I think it might have been before. I think I recognize the name. There's a new guy, Twello. I think he's been here before, I'm not sure. But if you haven't and you're a bit confused, let me try and unconfuse you. Okay, I see Covetto is fairly new. Yeah, we're all here to help. Don't forget that, guys. Remember, there's not a guy here who didn't start somewhere. No. Excuse my language, sorry about that. It's okay. My phone fell out. Luckily, we're protected. It's in a great screen. What where was I? Yeah, so it's a forum, interact. We've all started somewhere, so we're all on this side. All we ask of you is if you're not sure about something, ask. If we can, we'll answer it. Okay. EURCAD. Go to the daily, it's on the daily, EURCAD. Where is it at the moment? Where's the 200? Down here, so that's key in the buys. What about this anyway? Here would be a buy on this one, on any normal one. Where's the 10? It's just gone, yeah. Someone's on the ball, Mr. Slabber. Someone's on the ball. Yeah, obviously wait and see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. On both. I like this on the EJ, and I like it on the normal. Just a second. I've got a WhatsApp. It might be one of the figures. I just keep disappearing. Ah, come out. Hey, fantastic. I'll post that for you guys on the quick trades setup. Yeah, we had some jip last week on the euro, but doesn't just say give up on it. It was very strange. So yeah, whose idea of this? Oh, of course, Gerard, yeah. Let's have a look. Oh, take it down here, it's too far. Maybe take it below this guy here. That was way back when. 19th, so it's just about 3 weeks ago. So down there somewhere. Yeah, I have to say I like it. Let's just try the weekly. Any problems there? Nope. 4 hour, any problems there? How far is it to the next bit of problem might occur there? 50 pips, but I mean, not breakthrough, but he should be in profit.
Incoming mail.
Okay. So yeah. Where do we take that up to? That's not going to be enough. Maybe take it there. I have to say I like it, guys. You know what to do on the EJ if you want to do the EJ. You go in the market, it's a buy, 50 pips stop loss, trading stop loss preferably. It's up to you if you want to modify it manually. No TP, and then ride the thing until you eventually stopped out. On the normal ones, often ride until I'm stopped out anyway by modifying. But I have to say I do like it. See what you guys think. Look at the 4 hour again. Not too much to worry. Anything happening on the 1 hour? Bit quiet, but still, I like it. Remember, a lot of that, is it a day trade? I can never tell that. Might be a day trade. Sometimes a day, sometimes a few hours, sometimes weeks, sometimes several days. How long in the market, guys? You can ask, but my answer will always be, I don't know. Nobody does. Nobody does. Not just me, nobody does. Depends on the variables. Remember, there's millions of people out there trading. And so as a result of it, I'll just one second. Yeah, do it down there. 1.4670. And the TP up there should do the job. 1.49 right on the dot. Sometimes happens. Don't forget, if you haven't got the calculator, you can get it at the live chat technical support. Let's see, a bit higher up there. May I make it there? Okay, I have to say 120 bucks to my throat. It bloody well owes us. I like that. Yeah, it's sodding over. XAU USD, don't forget, guys, is gold. Same thing. For the mouthful of XAU, do it. Gold, same price, same everything. It's a different terminology. We'll go back to gold in a minute and have a look. EuroCAD, yeah. What do you think, guys? Make sure you're not free margin. By the way, if you love the trade, either put more money in your account or leave it. You can't go in if you haven't got enough free money. Money's like everything. I want that Ferrari. If you haven't got the money, you can't have it. Same principle. What do you think, guys? Do you like it on both? You can do it on both. You can do it on your EJ and this one if you got enough free money. Separate strategies. What's the feedback? Very quiet today, Mr. Murray. What do you think?
Good morning to you too as well. No, I like it. I still have a problem with my margin since last week with the euro. Otherwise, I would have gone in.
Okay, I'll count that as support. I mean, fair enough. Yeah. But to say, you know, the problem with that is, don't be nasty here. It's correct. Anthony's correct. And it can get revenge on it and it owes us and it comes back. And you're not on board. I think you're going to be highly fed up. So we won't rub it in.
No, it's true.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we like this one. Is that correct? Jeanette likes it. Anybody else? Anthony, do you like it? Yeah. Okay, that's good enough. Okay. Buy. What's it? 58, 1.4. 58, 1.4670, 1.4909. And it's 120 bucks a shot. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's fine. Just want to save that quickly. I'm going to post it. Give me a moment or two. Okay. Like that. See how that works out. So look at your chef. I thought that might be a sell. Hope for sell. It seems to be holding that 200-day moving average. So there might be some trouble. You buying one, selling the other. The difference is Swiss franc. Maybe leave it a bit rangy. Okay, what would you want to look at? There was gold. Okay. Well, the strategy base is you've got to watch the DXY and the yields. I should one post the yields for you. Yields on the 10-year note, they're inversely proportional. In other words, gold goes up. If the dollar comes off and the yields come off, just a second. Yeah, you can say that as well. Yields come off, gold goes up, and vice versa. So just bear that in mind. It's dangling around the 220 level, waiting for fresh fundamental news coming through, which clearly we know we're getting on Wednesday. It's pretty quiet today and quietish tomorrow in the meantime. If it doesn't change, hey. So my strategy would be, this would be maybe buy a pullback. I'm rather more interested in buying it than selling it, but I want to get a better price. If I can't, well, I'm tough, I won't be in it. That's why I'm looking at gold at the moment. I'm not sure we'll get this kind of price, but it could shift down there, but that'll be a fundamental. But I think the odds are likely it could come back to 2010, and then that can give it a buying opportunity. Put a stop down here somewhere and take it back up. But I do see the way the international economy is going at the moment, or they're trying to do something about it, I get that. But the overall impression, I think we could get 2-1 on the cards and sometime in the future. When's the next problem? I don't know. But I'm much more bullish. A lot of fear out there, so I'm bullish on gold. Rather buy the falls.
Yeah, mate.
Hello?
With the gold, it looks like a new support has formed. It looks like we ventured into a new range from where it is now up to the 2070s.
Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, great.
Because I don't know, I don't see the dollar recovering. I mean, look, with the positive news, but it still didn't get as low as we anticipated. So I don't know.
I agree. The only thing for me will let that dollar recover if the figures come out on Wednesday quite a bit above the actual, then there'll be more pressure on interest rates, which will strengthen the dollar. Otherwise, it'll remain around about here. Also, if it's less inflation, lower, you could get it weekly back to 100 on the dollar index. So I concur, I agree with you. However, my worry is getting in now. You talking about going in now? I'm hoping to get it 2010. You may not get that. That's the problem. And of course, be very careful to be protected before 2:30 data. If you do go in, because the last thing you want to do is it comes out and it flies off. But otherwise, I totally agree with you. Okay. I'm looking around about 2010, yeah, if we get it. But it's very much sideways here, so we'll see. Might miss it. That's just me. You risk missing it. You might think I like it that much, I'll go in. Well, you can always go with half and maybe half later on. It's up to you. But I'm just going to sit on the sidelines for a long time. More or less be the operative word, yeah. But that's just me. I mean, you might want to go in now. You might want to go in at 2,000. Up to you. But mine, I get a better price. But if you don't, we don't. Don't ask me. I don't know what that was about. Okay, right. I can recap then. And we've got a bit of a bounce as expected on the 50-day moving average. Is it going to be maintained? Any sell it? Yeah, a little bit of bounce. Might go up to there before it hopefully comes off again. Next step is going to break this guy here. Okay. CAD CHF. That moved a dicky bird. Pretty quiet. I'm not so surprised there. It's a little bit quiet, but it's never mind. Patience is the name of the game, as we know. And then, of course, the NAS. Very quiet. If the NAS is quiet, you can pretty damn sure everything else is quiet. I'm sorry, guys, it's a pain in the backside, but just be prepared to be patient. Prepared to be patient. Okay, any questions? Anything else you'd like to discuss? I've gone off the normal thing about how to get the calculator, specifications, we get information on the instrument, saving your charts, got the number, you got the DXY, the normal stuff there. Any other questions? I take you've all got the moving averages, like I mentioned, and saved them. Anything else you'd like to discuss? Trade strategies, anything else? Remember, you guys, don't be worried. If you start, you've got to start somewhere. For a second. Hello? Not too bad, not too bad. Who's calling? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm in a Zoom trading meeting. Can you call me after 11 o'clock, please? Thanks very much, she said. Bye. I might keep sort of losing the call if somebody's playing around with it anyway, whatever. Yeah, so yeah. Clayton, you good? Udazili, you good? Assuming you guys there. Take you all right. Anything you want to ask about?
Yes, mate.
Yeah, what keeps happening?
You know.
Go on.
Yes, mate. You know, with the CPI, I am tempted to use gold instead of the Euro USD. Do you think gold moves more pips than the Euro USD or what?
Yeah, depends on circumstances. But I think guys, you did the goal last time, did better than the guy euro dollar. Remember, I just use the euro dollar. There's a lot of beginners coming in there, so we don't confuse them by you pick one, they'll get confused. So I just stick with that. But I because of the spreads on the NAS, I think I'd rather use gold or a currency. So you could do dollar, JPY, or gold, no problem there. What will be the distance between the two? You know, buy stop, sell stop. I think maybe $2. Try $2. See what that looks like. Give me a second. In case you get filled by mistake and get very small. Don't get caught by mistake. You know what I mean? Don't. That's just my volume. Don't ignore it. Just in case I get caught. I'm going to experimenting here. A buy stop. $2 above would be 202.4. How does that look? It's a bit close, eh? Oh, hang on, we'll try on the 50 on the daily. Yeah, that could do it. Yeah, make it about $2 above or below. Something like that. I'm guessing. Who's done the goal before? What did you use, the buy stop, sell stop? Anyone there done the goal? That's a bit of a thumbs up for me, to be honest, that $2. Think that's a bit wide? Maybe you can do $1, $1.50. Make it $2 sound good, guys? If you're going to do it, or do you prefer $1.50 or something like that? Or even $1.
You see what I noticed? I think gold moves more steadily instead of jumping around. The momentum is a bit constant and in one direction than oscillating up and down.
Good point. I'll say consider euro dollar. That might have gone to my radar. It's a good point because, as you said, that jump around the euro dollar. Remember, that's the most traded instrument in the whole wide world. You know what I mean? So that might get a lot of people getting in, getting out. High-speed trades are on it all too. A bit more steady on the gold might be a good point. Okay, that's a good point you've got there. Maybe we can look at gold. Okay, instead of the euro dollar next time. That's a good idea. What do you think, guys? Should we do on the CPI 2 o'clock session? Should we use gold instead? How do you guys feel about it? Thanks for your offering there.
I would really like that on my end, Roger, if we did that.
Okay, well then I think, are we happy on that? I'll do the gold then instead of euro dollar. Did anybody that actually do the gold on the strategy we talked about? I wouldn't do the 15 pips or something like that. I don't know why that keeps having this recording. It's annoying me. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, the Nasdaq. The trouble is you've got to have a wider buy stop, sell stop because it's a 15 pip spread. That's why I'm not that keen on the Nas. But if you like it, be happy as long as you're aware of that. The gold, you can see the spread is a lot tighter. I think maybe the gold. I'm looking at maybe just $1 above the buy and $1 below the low. That seems to be okay, doesn't it? Put a sell stop in on this one as well. Just an example, don't forget, guys. 0.01 because I don't want to get filled. Obviously, I'm going that's in reality. Put the sell stop in. And then what was the price? 2.0, make it 20, eh? You just make it around 20. Just down there. You can keep an eye on it, as long as you're not filled before the data release. That's the main thing. And the guys that did it, sorry, I keep saying, did anybody do gold on the non-farms? And did they do pretty good at it? Because I think that, just look at it. What happened to non-farms? This was Friday, maybe probably 4 hours. This is obviously the non-farms. Yeah, you've done well on it. Yeah. Okay, well, since you've actually experienced on it. Look at that movement there. As better as good euro dollar. I'm not going to get filters down. I think euro dollar. Yeah, as you can see, far more steady. There you are. Thank you. Thank you. I agree with you, Ken. Thank you. Point that out. Okay, we'll do it for gold. That convinced me. That convinced me. Okay. Okay, so $1 above, $1 below, do it for gold. And then the guys who did gold did very well. In fact, a lot of guys here were that keen, they might actually up the volumes for doing it on the CPI. I mean, I did it, I might even up mine as well, so I did pretty well out as well. I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with you on the gold, yeah. Okay, finally, as always, good to have you. Okay. So we agreed. We'll try out the gold on that and see if we can the party on that one. The guys did gold, I think did better than the euro dollar. Some guys want to do the Japanese yen, that's their choice, but I don't want to start confusing people. Yeah, they can choose what they like, but I think I'm going to use gold. But the US dollar, I think, did even better. It's the 4 hour. A bit similar to the euro dollar, okay. Okay, getting a bit of a bounce here. But is it going to get back to here? Obviously, I'm not going to modify yet. It's too close, but slightly in profit is good. Maybe we get a bit of a comeback on that one. Seems to be holding on the 10-hour one. Eh? Oh, sorry, 10 times 15 minutes. Might get a bit of a callback, hopefully. Okay, what's the other one? Just not out of the way. CAD CHF, anything happening there? About the same, eh? We've got in at what, 43, 46 up a little bit, not much. Very quiet. So let that drift around. And the Euro CAD. Come off a little bit, but not much to worry about at the moment. And the CHF JPY, it's coming back a little bit. You might get a better price, I'm hoping for anyway. Okay. Oh, and then sorry, the NAS. Overall seems to be pretty quiet. Yeah, very, very quiet. For the NAS, that is a hell of a quiet. Slightly in profit, but very, very quiet. No big fund is coming out today, so maybe Harper's 3 opening will get a bit of movement. Okay, that's me cleared up. Well done, guys. Got some signals out. Thanks for aiding on that. I haven't really come back yet. Maybe we're meeting with the office and the Eurocad. But I'll leave it to them. If they're happy, then they'll send it. If they're not happy, they won't. Okay, good enough. Got my number. Any questions? Any you just want to repeat again? Or not sure of? Members of forum? Give me a second while I think of that. I'm just going to go to the bulletin. You're all good, Jose. Okay.
So, mate, let's
Yeah,
say the CPI comes positive, and then maybe the gold drops a little bit,
Yeah.
or it drops drastically.
Yeah.
After that, will that be a good chance to buy gold up again? Since
Yeah.
we see that the US dollar is struggling.
Yeah. Yeah, it might. After a big move down, let's say just coming out now, it moves down maybe $30 odd, a good decent move down, like you mentioned. But probably would be going into the weekend some profit taking, but it's a very risky trade. You've got to be on it. If you're expecting that, it hovers. Let's say it's shot down to where the crosshair is down here somewhere. I don't know, right there. Well, good, David, right down here or something, and it starts sideways a bit. You might get a bounce back up again. How far, I don't know, but that'd be a profit-taking bounce. That's a very risky trade, but I hear you. But it's not something I would recommend for new guys because they won't understand that or what's actually happening. They don't understand what we're talking about, short covering, profit-taking, and that's a little bit against the trend. But like it did before, when it came down drastically, it had a bit of a bounce. Make sense? So yeah, there's a likelihood of that happen, but don't get cute with it. Bit of experience, yeah. Then you're on it, you understand why. And it goes up a couple of bucks or so, then you can take it as a quick bounce trade, for want of a better word. But that's not something I press a guy who's just struggling to learn the stuff as a beginner to try and get too cute with. But otherwise, I hear you. Good. I think that's covered that. Great. Oh, good there, Jose. Good stuff. Yeah. That's about what I've got at the moment. I can't see anything new. If you check the trades at the moment, they're sort of grinding sideways. So just let them run. I don't have any particular shares I'm looking at. I'm nervous of the banks, but maybe jump the gun to short them as yet. But I'm looking maybe a short shares, something like that. Maybe if it opens up down here, it might be worthwhile. We could look at a couple of the banking shares later on, if you remind me, and see if we can get something there. Might be option on this one here. But we'll have a look. Keep an eye on the NAS as well. Even though it's a banking, I get that still. Right. Just to mention that, anybody who wants to trade the NAS and the Dow, make sure if you haven't got enough funds, go for the micro. Okay, what is the difference? Just the contract size. The normal one here, the contract size is 10, as you can see. There it is, 10. On the micro, it is 1. A quick recap for those who don't know this. 1. So clearly the contract is 10 times larger. So 0.01 will be 10 times larger normal than the micro. So if you haven't got sufficient funds, I suggest you go and load it up. It's quite simple. Go to your click to add and put in the Dow. And it should give you that alternative on the micro. If it doesn't come up, you're going to have to open up a micro account, I'm afraid, by going to the portal. Okay. But if you've got only a couple of grand in your account, don't try and go in the wrong one, you'll be overexposed. Okay. Guy asked me there $100 and he didn't have the micro, could he go and have one for that? And I said, no, you're going to have to get the micro. Okay, just remember to keep yourself muted just in case. Okay, but I'll unmute you on a chit chat. We had to mute you. There's a bit of obviously family struggle in the background there. Okay, yeah, so just bear that in mind on the micro. Okay, Gerard, thanks for your CHF trades and it goes well. Yeah, so yeah. I've just got more money in your account than clearly you go for the normal one, but just don't forget, don't try the Dow or the NAS if you've got a small account. Okay, it's probably nearly a close up here anyway, guys. Okay, I can certainly do that. It's better. All right, this has got nothing to do with anybody outside the training room. It was evolved here in the training room. So don't go and ask or Google it or ask some of your mates what's that one. They will never have heard of it. Most of the company here never heard of it. It's something involved in training. What we're doing is just going with the momentum. We're not worried about fundamental analysis, going purely with the momentum. However, do not jump into them if there's a major fundamental coming out. So if let's say you're looking good to buy or sell the euro dollar and it's 10 minutes or half an hour before the CPI, you would ignore it because that fundamental will stuff the system up. Okay, see you at 4, guys. Okay, that's not a problem. Okay, good. All right, so what you do is it's not for shares. Yes, we could do on gold. We haven't really done gold. It's usually for a forex pair. So let's pick out GBP CAD, just to arbitrate and fail with it, right? What you do is you make sure you're on the daily and you look to see if it's above the 50 and the 200. Not the 100, ignore that, the 50 and 200. Where's the 200? It's down here. If it's above them, you look to buy it. If it's between them, you leave it alone. If it's below it, you look to sell. Well, clearly that's above, buy. If it was here, you'd ignore it. If it was below here, you'd look to sell it. Purely momentum. So it is above, then you go to the 1 hour and see if it's above the red, the magenta 10-hour moving average. It is not, so you would leave it. But let's pretend you check the buy and the price is here. So let's go back a few hours. Let's say the price was there. You'd buy with a 50 pip stop and usually a trailing stop. And then if it does go up, it goes up, the trading stop will keep modifying. You can even alter your trading stop to 30 pips once you're in a nice profit, or even alter the 20 when you get a nice profit, or it falls back below the 200, sorry, the 10-day moving average. You don't put a TP in, it's just a stop loss, and you let it run on pure momentum. It's as simple as that. Okay. So let's have a look at another one. Let's take Euro CHF. Whereas this one, neutral, between the blue and the brown, ignore it. Euro AUD, that's the sell zone, as you can see. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one there, so you'll start with the day, my mistake. Euro AUD, that is clearly in the not sure zone. Yeah, that's the buy zone. Okay, it's above the blue and the brown in the buy zone. Make sure on the day, it's not like I do in the 15-minute or whatever. And then you go to the hourly and see if it's no, it's below there, so you can't do it. Try the next one. Try Euro CHF, go to the daily. It's below, so you're looking to sell this. You go to the hourly. This is one you could do. How far is it away? It's only 4 pips away from the red line there. So this one you could do. So if you want to do an EJ one we talked about earlier on, this one you'd be doing a sell. It's 90 Rand a micro is your risk, 50 pips stop, no TP, and just put a trading stop and let it run. Okay. And to work out your volume, it's 90 rand per 0.01. Make sense? Any question on that, Goo? Got it. Well done. There you are. So if you wanted to do one, you can do this on this one. I say, it doesn't matter how much money you got, but your risk is 90 rand a micro. Obviously, put the order in, put the volume in, go in at market, stop loss 50 pips, low TP, and then just ride it down. You can alter the 50 to 30 if you're going in for a nice profit, just to tighten it up a bit, or even to 20 pips. That's up to you. But start with a 50 pip stop. Give it a bit of room to breathe. Okay. All good? But there's a good example of, I just picked on one, there's a good example. You can do that one if you like. And as always, don't forget, make sure you get enough free margin. And it's a separate trade. You might think, I like this in the EJ, and I also like this in the normal one. Be two separate trades. So you can go to you are CHF in the normal one. So if you thought this was a good sell on a normal basis, then you go to the position size calculator, stop loss TP in the normal way. Sell, where would you put your stop? Up there somewhere, 988.40. And your TP would be, you have to use a weekly for that. 97.10. That won't work. That's your only problem. That TP is not going to work. You'd have to put the TP down here to make it work. So EJ is probably the better bet at the moment because it wasn't in those levels back to September. We're talking 8 months ago. So I'm a little bit cautious about getting the normal one for the EJ, and you can do it yourself. Okay. Okay, it's about winding up time up on that. Any more questions? All good with that? And you want more clarification, any of that? All good. Okay, maybe we just pack it up then. Got load shedding just now as well, some calls to make. So yeah, should we call it a day and catch you later on 4 o'clock? You happy with that, Brian? Happy guys? Can we catch you later on the 4 or anything else just before we finish? Just want to clarify on. Speak now or forever hold your pace. Your piece, they say in the classics. Don't forget, pen and paper, keep it handy, just so to remind you anything. All good. Great. Okay, well, that's then. Catch you later on. This can make it 4